Thank you very much, Mr. Witness. Welcome back. I hope you have had a good lunch.
Yes, of course.
Yes. The chair wanted you to further dilate on the importance of or the relevance of the document I have just handed you back. The report on the initial jungle investigations, or investigations into jungle activities.
Report men dita follow ke wadi follow in the jungle and tama dribulo in tama in Kenya.
This is very important. What we did first was to make a public announcement. All those that are affected one way or the other to come to the police.
Affected by what?
Affected by the Yajame regime. Either killed, detained unlawfully. And those that are missing. So a lot of people, family members came to the headquarters. Because the announcement reached they should report to the Inspector General of Police. And whenever they come to me, I will refer them to the CMC. Where a panel was formed. To look into all the missing, killed, or other category of people who are affected. As the complaint comes in, we decided to get the people that we suspected must have been responsible. Then I informed the CDS, make available all the junglers to us. And the military police started rounding them, arresting them. Escorting them to the police headquarters. We started the investigation. I did not take part in the investigation. But I took time to go there, especially when the 4 persons were arrested. I listened to their revelations. I was very shocked. And I could not stay further. I've asked them to be giving me intermittent report. This document is one of the reports. I want to believe there are reports before this. I was on a daily basis, I inquire from them as to the state of the matter. My worry was they will not escape. But unfortunately, some of them escaped. I will not blame the investigators, neither the military at the time. Because all these junglers knew at the time that the moment Yaya Jammeh's government is over, they don't have place in this country. That is the information I want to share.
Mr. Chair, I think this has some great significance in the sense that it shows awareness just after Yaya Jammeh that he had a group of people who were committing violations for him, and that some investigations were carried out, and that this is just a preliminary laundry list of some of the dirty work that they did for him.
Ko legal counsel ya funyamin nyinkuma ya tabake kafoko ya Jammeh watu men alaba watu banta nyim bankun kan akuma ya ta iteliyo gulo men ke watu la adun men safeta ten ninkum nyinemu kayti fololuti men ya lon ko de data nyum mol la kola pour be do ko lorul len tilimbali ya men ke ka nyim bankun kan nun pour akosi wanyari ay lankenema.
Thank you, Counsel, and thank you, witness, very much for this explanation.
Chairman, pro legal counsel numbara, I selu numbara, pro I senayandiro menketeng.
It's the first time, at least I'm seeing, in a single document, Counsel said laundry list of investigations undertaken. I don't know if this is a comprehensive list. But I want to take you through it, investigation after investigation.
Between legal counsel numbara nyinkaito na kuwa kama ko legal counsel ya funyamin wala laundry list wala kaito me ya lonko mulu baba la yekuluru wala kanu pour ka wonu kulu lankena makesene andi bari bitu wo kaito re data alu nyina mu kaiti fonoti me ya lonko bulo lata kan umul la ko karola andu chairman ko la filale lera ni lera ibabe no mala le pour ka ko lankena makajubi membije.
I don't want posterity to wonder what really was the fate of each of these investigations, so we will go through it.
Akama la fisinin samo moli ya mirewa mune ketamu ni kuoto ni kisikisironto wala na alafita purka anoma sata lera ni lera puru abesi lankenema ay koi kokundimba kokono molu salon ya fahamu isaje sinin so molu tina jakali kusoton la akuoto.
And I will just ask you one quick question on each of those as we go through it very quickly. Then want to take Counsel's time and some questioning with you.
Ako abe nyinin kar kilin kala ku kundin na kunto kato amalla fi council la wati bata la ku nyinto alaftal ron puru na nyinin karo ke ku kundin na ku wala ya lan kelma ya senendi men ba ku nyin koto.
I believe there is no reference in the list to the investigation that Malam Nsise was briefing us on yesterday. I didn't see anything there. Maybe I went through it very quickly.
Akama kujije meya lonkola kala Malam Nsise la sata rote kunu membije ama amira chodi bije kabo nyin kaito bala mensi okulu itani wala ka okulu chodi mentilinta okulu lanyala ko kunu Malam Nsise be sata ro mentekan.
Sata ro fan Abidjan is here.
Is it there?
Abidjan
Counsel, you have a copy? Oh.
No, we have only one copy. If I may help, Mr. Chair. Sure. The investigations have seen, we have seen this document before. And
this one that he has in front of it?
Yes, because we took over the police files of the junglers. And this was just the initial report showing some of the alleged activities of the junglers. I think they pretty much confessed to everything that is in it. And it formed the initial basis for our investigations into the activities of the junglers. And indeed, true to form, they confessed to all these crimes that are in this document before this commission.
Okay. With all the positions that the minister is held in the government, I still think, for the record, it might be a good idea to go through each one of those, ask him the question, was this, in his view, in the light of the background that he's bringing to us here,
Indeed.
the view that this was a fabricated investigation, or was it an authentic investigation? I want to have him on record on each of those ones that he's just presented.
That's right. Just a little bit of context.
Sure.
This was prepared post-Jame.
Yes, indeed.
And it was the Jame killers who were brought to draw a laundry list of or to identify the linen of their laundry list, pretty much, identify all the terrible crimes that they had committed for and on behalf of Jame. And that is what is contained in this list. Of course, this list comes with a file, a set of files comprising of all the investigations that have been done with regard to each of those violations. Yeah. So in it, of course, you may see the Ghanaians, the killing of the Ghanaians. You may see the killing of
Americans.
The 2 Americans, which we talked about yesterday, and other violations like Sol Ndauma Hawacham, I want to believe. So it's just a list of all those violations that had occurred or that were carried out by the junglers. And many of which we have dealt with already in the commission.
Okay, we'll do it very quickly on that one. Can you go to investigation A, which is to Gambian Americans? Yes, that's the first one of the 10 that you have on that list.
May I briefly give you the brief story?
No, I don't need you to read the whole thing. We just give the title, a brief on the description of the investigation that's been undertaken, and then we move on to B as well. So I said I would ask you each time whether or not what the outcome of that investigation was, or was it a fabricated investigation. This is all just for the record.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
During the course of the investigation, it was revealed that in June 2013,
you don't need to read it, and just give us the highlights of investigation A.
Oh, what is
that one?
It is not an investigative report. It's a summary of activities that they are, because they brought suspects, and then each identifying the atrocities that you've committed.
Ye molle nati meni alonko briye nati sobokata menula kliwo klim barata kujawul menla famale asata.
This enables us to at least prepare us for the broader investigation. By the number of them, when they are called, they confess to their crimes. And they will also reveal crimes committed by others. So here we attempt to identify those that are killed and those that are responsible for those killings.
Janka men kata drongolem ka kata ye men fa amin jumanyele ye fa.
That's the document that I have with me. It's not a comprehensive investigation report.
I know it's not a comprehensive report or a report from the investigation. It's a summary of what investigations had been undertaken. Isn't that correct?
Munta chairman kana yini ka walam dron kibaro mun bakato kono walam itella kisikisiro ka kumben tarin ke dron amunta wala da data nyin kaito bala.
Here they did not summarize the facts, but only the people responsible for those crimes and the suspects in custody.
Jawo barul men ke tay mol fo bitul molu men yalon ko ibe mutokono ye mutamelna anin itelu barata men wala men kaito bala.
Like in the case of the 2 Americans,
yes,
there were 3 persons in custody at the time.
Ko abe kelatu men mo saba wala be mutokono men yalon ko ye tunu ko Gambia ding fulul mun nata ke American luti wo American fulul la ko Kenya men ba ko akono yo mo sabol be to ko wotumo.
The investigation found the other 10 liable.
And kisikisiro kono inata mo tam fananje men ya lonko inota ko kono.
Starting from the former president, yes.
Suspects,
yes.
Yeah, but you see, I think you're doing exactly what I think should be on the record. And fine, let's go ahead. You've just given it for that one. Was it a bona fide investigation, would you say?
These are genuine facts that are obtained from the those that are responsible for committing those crimes.
What was the outcome?
The outcome, that's why the council is saying the file and everything was later handed over to this commission for further investigation. We did not complete everything, but all statements, most of the statements were obtained, and then some are in the run at that time. So the whole file was handed over to the commission.
Fine, we're not taking too much time, just wanted to lay down the rules and then we would have gone very, very quickly. But that doesn't seem to be clear.
It's just to prepare whoever is...
Yeah. What is B?
B?
Which investigation is that one?
Nyasi.
Nyasi?
Yes. Nyasi, and then 3...
what was the outcome of that investigation?
All these investigations, as I said, Chairman, they were not completed at the time of handing over, because there are quite a number of them are confessional statements, and then we only compile them and hand over to the commission, because these are people already in the custody of the military, and then just for the commission to continue with.
Fine.
them.
I won't take any more of time on that one. Fine. If you just give the document back to council and then we'll look at it. Council, towards the end of the day, if I can give you the answer to your request.
That's right.
Yeah, okay.
And it is being brought in mainly to show that soon after Jammeh fell, what could not have been done during his time was immediately done. He could not have investigated the activities of the black or the junglers during Jammeh's time. Like they were committing violations even against the police, but he believed that he could not do anything about it at the time. It would have been self-sacrifice and sacrifice of his men to do something about it. But soon, immediately Jammeh fell, that's the first thing they did. That is set up a panel to investigate the activities of the junglers, and this was just one of the preliminary reports. And this commission of inquiry benefited tremendously from the work of the police just immediately after Jammeh, because there they had recorded lots of confessions by the junglers, and we used that as a basis to call them before the commission to testify.
Fine, this is very helpful indeed. Can you just read the list of junglers that you have in the very, very first paragraph of that document? Who are they?
We have General Suleiman Baji, General Bora Koli, Lieutenant Colonel Sanamanjang, Lieutenant Kausu Kamara, Lieutenant Colonel Landin Tamba, because these are all possibly, but then some of them are not responsible for anything in the...
No, I know, but you've given us a list.
We believe that they are possibly the jungle.
Maybe interpreters, you can start. Major you need only 3 and the interpreters can...
Major Tumbul Tamba.
Abe menu for kanteng, wole moluti menu tolu safe ko. Alhakato. Nyille moluti menu ka ofenfulu do me ka fo black anata laban ka fo menu junglers. Aka wole tolu foten wotembo te la kisikisiro ye menu tolu soton. Abon le karan kanteng.
Start with the Suleiman Baji that you have.
General Suleiman Baji.
Menu bije walem General Suleiman Baji.
General Bora Koli.
General Bora Koli.
Lieutenant Colonel Sanamanjang.
Lieutenant Colonel Sanamanjang.
Lieutenant Kausu Kamara.
Lieutenant Kausu Kamara.
Alias Bombardier.
Bulkafume Bombardier.
Lieutenant Colonel Landin Tamba.
Lieutenant Colonel Landin Tamba.
Lieutenant Colonel Solo Bojang.
Lieutenant Colonel Solo Bojang.
Major Tumbul Tamba,
Major Tumbul Tamba,
Major Nuha Baji,
Major Nuha Baji,
Major Momodu Jaju,
Major Momodu Jaji Dulka Fai Rambo,
Major Musa Jamme,
Major Musa Jamme,
Captain Mustafa Sane,
Captain Mustafa Sane,
Captain Michael Jata,
Captain Michael Jata,
Lieutenant Malik Jata,
Lieutenant Malik Jata,
Lieutenant Michael Sankoria,
Lieutenant Michael Sankoria,
WO1 Fansu Nyabali,
WO1 Fansu Nyabali,
WO1 Modu Buso,
WO1 Modu Buso,
WO2 Ablai Jallo,
WO2 Ablai Jallo,
WO1 Pa Usman Sane,
WO1 Pa Usman Sane,
WO2 Malik Manga,
WO2 Malik Manga,
WO2 Lamin Sambu,
WO2 Lamin Sambu,
Staff Sergeant Malafikor,
Staff Sergeant Malafikor,
Staff Sergeant Lamin Baji,
Staff Sergeant Lamin Baji,
Staff Sergeant Momodu Baji,
Staff Sergeant Momodu Baji,
Staff Sergeant Suleiman Sambu,
Staff Sergeant Suleiman Sambu,
Staff Sergeant Omar A. Jallo,
Staff Sergeant Omar A. Jallo,
Sergeant Seku Bajaju,
Sergeant Seku Bajaju,
WO1 Ismaila Jamme,
WO1 Ismaila Jamme,
WO1 Aliu Jeng.
WO1 Aliu Jeng.
These are the first list that we have.
Our
evidence did not connect quite some of them.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
I'm sorry, Council, sorry, Minister, to make you go through this, but we needed to get something clear for our records.
No,
Council, you may continue, please.
I think that's what you just did is quite important. It just reminds everybody who these junglers are. But some of the names read out were in fact names of people who died.
Yes.
So it just shows that this was very, very preliminary. As the moment Jammeh fell, the whereabouts of some of those mentioned in the document was still not known. It's this commission of inquiry which really brought out the facts that these people have died, the likes of Mandafikor, for instance.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. I want to continue. Minister, I'm terribly sorry, as I said, to bring a minister in here and then make him go through reading.
I also want to add that some of the ones that are at large,
Minister
we obtain a warrant for their arrest.
Thank
Thank you.
Oh, that's very helpful indeed.
And Mr. Chair, would you want to add the document to the record, or?
Yes.
Okay, so it should be.
Let me see it, and then
Yeah.
I'll give you the answer your request for inclusion.
Thank you very much.
I need just one more look.
Thank you. Thank you.
Please proceed.
Okay. Mr. Witness.
Hello.
Yes. Okay. In 2005.
2005 sangokono.
Sorry, rather in 2008.
Akatu 2008 sangokono.
When this group special task force was set up,
Bri nyinka follow the memo special task force ti kabri ya londi.
you said your role was to help provide the materials.
Ikoyetela do ko men wala mindika de maro ke pour ka jorango do to bendi nyokam.
Yes, to facilitate their investigation.
As a result of that, you requested for the diaries.
Yes.
Dalilo kanne inar na kanindro ke nyin diary la.
And you said the diary for Bara, they did not request it.
And wokan iko diary men nyen na bol na Bara ima wokani.
But you provided it to us at the end of the investigation.
Inar na di kisikisir la le nyala bang.
Do you realize?
In
fact, I have here a correspondence by the fact-finding mission.
From
their offices in Abuja, Nigeria. And sent to Usman Sonko.
The
IGP. It's dated 12 December.
Le kaito ni December karotil tang aning fulalam ya safe.
I am showing it to the chair first.
Mr.
Chair, we had received a file, one of the files seized from the NIA. These documents are from that batch. And you will recall that we had exhibited the complete list of files early on in the investigations. So these documents are from that set. So we may need to exhibit them individually. So they are not necessarily connected to the witness directly, but he should be able to comment on them because he assisted in that investigations. I am wish to show him this document to show that the investigators commented on the materials they received, but they did not comment on the diary from Bara, which shows quite clearly that either they did not receive that diary or that it did not contain any relevant information, both of which is quite important for us here. So that's why I want to show him that document. I had showed it to him before so that he could read it and have a feel of what it says. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Council. That's noted. Give it back.
And Exhibit 207 is also from that same file, from the file on the Ghanaians that was kept by the NIA.
The NIA did not give you that document voluntarily when you use the word seized on them.
No. Remember, Mr. Chair, you signed a search and seizure warrant.
Yes, I did.
On the basis of that, we secured a cache of documents from the NIA.
Fine, that's good.
Yes, Mr. Witness, take a look at the document.
Yes, I'm just going through it. I want to make a comment before going further. You make two options. You projected two options. It's either the
perhaps, Mr. Honorable Minister, before we get to my observations, let's establish the nature and type of document and where it emanates from.
Janimbo na korosiro nyin suriela follow saying sabatindi follow nyin munkaiti zifalam anu abaraminto membebulu.
This document originates from ECOWAS, UN ECOWAS fact-finding mission.
Kaito bota United Nations and ECOWAS la tonya nyini dokula lebulu.
Based in where?
Abuja.
Abuja sate to Nigeria Bangkok.
And it was addressed to Honorable Usman Sonko.
And we are keen ye to benji Honorable Usman Sonko.
Secretary of State for Interior, not Inspector General of Police at the time. That's why I want to rectify.
Utumo ateno Secretary of State, Minister Marta Bangkok kunyala, but utembo amanke IGPT.
Yes.
And it's making reference to certain information that they want to be made available to them.
And the man coming Cameroon is not a kibar dolela, may alonko yenta kibaro sotonale.
You would agree that I had provided this document to you earlier to take a look at, correct?
Yes.
And you would agree that the document made reference of Bara, but it does not say anything about the migrants having been arrested and detained in Bara, correct?
Later,
That is correct.
You would also notice that it has discussed the diaries of the various stations that were provided to them.
no hani kabi tentenda konen ka kuno fanu ka kacha diary me yan ko police station me yan soto e men ditol la.
But you would agree that the Bara diary has not been mentioned.
Bari be sonna manina la ko Bara la diary nyingi mo la kuma foje.
That's correct.
So the Bara diary has not been mentioned.
Munta Bara la diary tumalame na man foto man foje.
And the critical fact
nanu tonya keso menti
of the arrest and detention
mutaro ani sindike sindidla killing
and the number of migrants
ani o tamalal me alon ko yirko be
having been arrested and detained in Bara was also not mentioned.
E mutake sindidla killing Bara je o fanangi mo yitandije.
Don't you find that odd?
Fay maje ko on kumulu njawolde ba.
And it's very odd, as you said, the possibility is that it's either it's not submitted to them or they have not. But then what I can confirm to this commission here is that the extract of all the diaries were submitted to them. Probably the information is not available in the diary of Bara.
Personally,
I've not seen much activities in the Bara mentioning the Ghanaians.
Because anataka nyimfarante ko mankuluje meni alon ko le denta ni ruda ila ko la ni ndawlu ila ko ketanya ni Bara maje safarin Bara la diary
with the extract that was handed over to me.
Ani kayto ni dintela.
Thank you very much. Let's take this step by step. The extract you received, did it contain the list of names of Ghanaians apprehended? I did not, I don't think, but I just packed them, all the information that were required from all the stations, then I stapled them and then hand over. But I did not physically go through most of those things because my task at the time was to make these documents available. And when I asked about the diaries, the extracts were made and given to me, and that's what I handed over to the investigators.
Wala nyinti na fere ke ngi kayto ka fu nyoma na dila wala na mandum kayto lu ngi kono pour ka karang ay koy men bije benu ditan telantelo lu be ka fu nyoma ne ngam simuta nga ay be denyo bala pour ngi kamala sitara nyo bala bitu ne denyo bala yonon ten ngawle ci kana di kiskisir la ko italia kaninte bulu nyami.
I cannot remember seeing a list.
Alun hakilo manyi mutako kaito bije dame yalon ko molle to be safari na bala
and this is precisely the point, Mr. You are a seasoned investigator. You are a lawyer. You know how station diaries are kept. It should be a list of the activities that occur at the police station. Correct?
Of course.
The information about the existence in Bara, if that was reported to the police station, it ought to have been written, correct? If you answer out of turn, okay, it will be showed on the screen. Yes.
That's yes.
The departure of the police officers from Bara station to the site to verify the information or the complaint they receive also ought to have been recorded in the diary.
Police labo ka police station do kata dingirato ye kibaro men dila ko nyimol be num dame do fana nyana kala kula me ala ko janni be bol police station do fana nyana kala kula me an ko nyanna safira diary nyi ko no fon.
Diary is a register that takes care of all the activities of police officer and even handling of exhibits and other things.
Diary mu fenneti dame yalon ko. Fen na tamata o police station kula akono. Kuke ta lombala keta kokundinti telwe no satala abenyenta safela o kitabo le kono. Hanini kule me yalon ko la be fenne cikala ka di fenne wala fembe sawna ka bulu kata bulu o benyenta safela o buko le kono.
Fantastic.
Inyata.
So the departure of the police officers from the station to go and visit the location where these migrants were also should have been recorded.
Police station or Katani Dinkira Romealon, Nimule, Kibaros or Nimule or Diamond, when in Tamalalti, or Fanana Kula de Melanco, and Yana Savara diary in Yukonal.
So yes, as I said earlier, every activity at the police station.
I know.
I
am asking these questions for an important purpose. The return of police officers to the stations with migrants arrested also should have been recorded.
Police also know Murungan Kabona Dinka in Tamala, Kabri Murugan and police, and often Kenyan Kala Kula Mano and Nasafera diary in Yukonal.
It should have been recorded.
And the names of those people who have been arrested and brought to the station should have been recorded.
One more Murana Mayor and Murana Nati police station or Ulfan Touring and Nasafera diary in Yukonal.
Yes.
And the transfer of those arrested from the station into the cells also should have been recorded.
And one more for a needed sound like a police station or in the cell in front of
Answer yes.
And their release from Bara police station to any other authority should also have been recorded.
And Lungila Kabula from Kabubara police station, Kadi, Hana, Bedila Momo, Cantio, Fanana Kula de Melanco, Safara Lefana.
Answer that's right, that's correct.
And the names of those released to other authorities also should have been recorded.
Bula Umul Fanamelanco, Bula Kabundi police station or the police station or Dio, Cantio Dola, Bedila Men of Fanana Kula de Melanco,
that's correct.
You would agree that that would have meant a number of entries all centered around these people who were arrested in Bara.
We were sending money like when you cool Beni Raketa on Yanyama, Sugilani Molemeanco, Mutabara of Fanalan or police.
And those entries would have established a coherent narrative of the interaction between the police and those apprehended, including the informants.
And we budget a water, New Safaro Nyama, Tilinta, or Benina Chokinyola, Tilindimola dealer, or police or many Mutania, Mutamole, Menu, Anunkibar dealer in Fanabira, Kunim Tilindila, will correct council.
And that would have also clearly established the story of how these migrants came into the custody of the Gambia government.
And Fanabina is sabatin the Tarikola, Tarika Sabatin, Sornola, Nimuda Molni, Narna, Soto Akeno, Yari, Fenarna, Gambia Masakundala Maro.
That's correct, council.
And you would agree that with these entries in hand, it would not have been possible for the Gambia government to deny having custody or having had custody of these people.
Andi bajala wasafiro nyendo niyo keta atakeno la masakunda mbinu nja atakeno le bulu nyala miano ko puri balan kafo ko nyumul tamandre la marulu ko.
That's correct.
We agree. I just want to show you something.
Lafta fenna itandilela.
with all these facts, if this diary was given to the Ghanaians, or to the UN fact-finding mission, they would have known that over 50 West African migrants were apprehended in Gambia. Correct? I will read out a paragraph from this report. The investigators received a letter from the Gambia government sent by Lamin Kababajo. And this is what it says. Following preliminary investigations, it came to light that the group had fallen victim of unscrupulous human traffickers who had taken monies from them to Europe. Consequently, the group was cautioned and released on humanitarian grounds. That is a blatant lie.
Of course, with the facts that are available now, it's a lie and it's a cover-up.
Tonya sede ko lu finita sign tonya lu menu banketa ni yin kuma kan lujibu kuma kan fanya final le mun kuma kan luti.
And also, if the UN was given the diary, that too would have showed that this is a lie.
I want to rectify that this thing. If GN were given the correct diary.
Yes, that's what I meant to say.
Because I made an extract of the diary that I believe were all genuine and then hand over to them. That
diary was falsified.
Yeah, I only come to know that when Jawara Demba and Pa testified before this commission.
We have received information that this was common knowledge at the police. When at the time you were CMC.
As I said, Council, I know that's something that's happened in this country. But nobody talks about it. So I have never even discussed or asked anybody about it.
But the insiders did discuss it.
Yeah, because those who knows the fact, definitely they will discuss about it. This is somebody who just come and something happened, he's absent. It's not my duty at that time to make my own findings. I may get myself into a serious problem, even though I know there is likelihood of foul play.
But
I could have refrained from even participating in this if I knew the facts that I know now. If I know them before, I would definitely find ways to evade or escape being part of that task force.
Kato kuomena lon sign. No na tumu nina lonu wotembo. Nde fangbe fero lukelale anenka tarambulo lutamemba kendila ko. Wo kafo meye tombo wonya wo task force ndate tarlaje.
But I thought I was doing a duty.
But nanyi mire no tumu ko mbedu ko le kekan.
Mr. Witness, whose responsibility it is to keep the station diary?
Is the station officer.
When you asked for the diary, what were you told?
That I was told that it's with Ba, and Ba said it's with Sonko. He handed that diary to Usman Sonko.
What position did Usman Sonko hold when he was given the diary?
Usman Sonko biri be diary dia la palace de babulu.
I think because I was not here when he was appointed the IG, but I want to believe that he was IG. I never met him as an IG.
Nte lafta la ko ubekela tumumen atelom IGT ba tala o palaso to tumumen nante jande aduna ta tumumen fa mata o palaso to bare atelom IGT wotumo.
And as at the time these investigations were happening, the time you were asking for the IG, what position did he hold?
And what I mean is he was the
Minister of Interior.
Atelom Minister to Marta Banco Kankunyala.
If you were told that this person had the diary, would that evoke some questions in your mind?
Usually, if occurrence happened that requires some investigation, IGP will always want to see the diary itself and go through it. But normally, it has to be returned back to the police station.
Kuketa me yalon ko kukumalom andum IG nyanta kulon na wokoto ayi nyanto soto la purka odari kaning ayajube membeje menketa mendunta dayari nkono bari na pareta bala anyanta murundi la police station oto.
Sometimes it's the other way around, that the IGP will move to the station and inspect the diary.
Modo la kakenya do nyale ma IGP fonsi wuli ayta station oto kata diary njibe.
When I was the IG, that's what I normally do.
I'll
go to almost every station within the greater Banjul. Inspecting their diaries. Where I need to make a comment, I will make a comment.
That is good policing. All right? For the person who's not hiding anything. But to collect the diaries from the station and to keep them and to provide you an extract when the investigations are ongoing smacks of nothing short of cover-up. An intention to hide things. You agree?
Definitely. Because this, I will call this letter from the ECOWAS. We have never seen that.
Well, it was sent to the minister. So
yeah,
yes. But the fact that you did not receive the diary from the correct source really stinks of massive irregularity.
Of course.
We were told that the cover-up by the Gambia government was not limited to just those people. Even those who asked questions were asked to mind their own business. Are you aware of that?
I am not.
But let's look at the statement by Ba. Ba suggested that He told you.
Ko akoyne ko.
That this issue is very complicated.
That's not true.
And he said you told him that the UN people were received at the airport, they were given alcohol and women, and they did not investigate, they left.
Akoyete kay ko UN na luntangol menina la kisikisiro la ye bennung airport to wala kulumbi la jidla to li andung ye bennung jele ye dolol dila aning musolu yo ming aning ye musol dila itata.
Don't be surprised that somebody from this commission again will say the commission members were given alcohol, and if you can believe in that, then it's obvious that. But what I want to confirm here, Ba is a terrible liar. And these are people that personally I honor very well. And they are very respectable.
But of course, you know, Mr. Witness, we would interrogate this issue, we would question it, and so as to give the commissioners the opportunity to be able to determine, to discern the truth from falsehood, as the learned bishop would always pray for.
I have the Quran here. Taking ablution.
Mr. Witness, let me also remind you that a lot of people have sat there and done the same theatrics and they are
I will never lie to this commission.
I trust you wouldn't, but nonetheless the questions would have to be asked.
I was seriously disturbed because I'm somebody who, the moment you lie, naturally, I don't like. Everybody who is very close to me knows that.
Tell us what you discussed with Ba. Everything you talked about.
It was a very short thing. I only inquired from him as to the whereabouts of the file. That Jawara, I was informed that you have knowledge about the file. And he said hand over that file to the NIG in 2005. I said, okay, you can go. If I need to call you back, I will call you. And for him to say,
just a moment. You discussed nothing else.
Nothing.
Not anything else, not a word more.
Not a word. Just go. When I need you, I will call you.
But the shocking thing here, Mr. Witness, is that he knew about the presence or the trip of the UN.
Well, I don't know, because because he knew. Probably they know that the UN is coming. But what I told him is that I only find out from him the whereabouts of the file.
Let
me just clear that point. It could not be possible for me to say that we give them this thing, because then they have not even arrived.
No, but just hear me out. Just hear me out. I see that particular issue. Because the way this guy made it to sound is not that you asked for the diary from him before they arrived. I think he seems to suggest that he was asked of the diary afterwards, after they arrived. And that is plausible because the Ghanaians, the UN was asking for more information. Because I checked that. I made a deliberate effort to check that. So his allegation is still plausible.
The second request that you are showing, this is the second request. This has never reached to the task force.
Well, you could be asked to provide more materials by the IGP.
No, that was the end of, when we submitted these things and they're gone, I have never been asked about anything about these Ghanaians.
Okay, but let's just continue to interrogate this so that the commission would have the basis to arrive at a conclusion. You see, it also happened that coincidentally, another member, sorry, before that, Ba needed to have had knowledge that you were involved with the UN. And he would not have had that knowledge if he was not informed by somebody who knows about this. You agree with that?
Yes, I'm sure he must have been informed, but
but he said you informed him.
No.
He knows it from you.
No, I cannot remember informing him. All I need from him, in fact, this is somebody that I don't see for almost several years.
But that is neither here nor there.
Yeah.
All right? And the thing is, this man also mentioned meeting Fali Jabang in your office. Correct?
Well, I'm not sure of that, but Fali is part of the team. But if Fali was there, then, but in his testimony, he said, I spoke to him when Fali was out.
Yes. But Fali came back inside.
I cannot remember
and
talking to Ba in the presence of anybody. I will not dispel the fact that when he was going out of my office, he must have met Jaban, because then was the starting point for our facilitation.
As he came, abe fintila na office kono tumumen, ani Jaban benda utumele katu tembo na keta kolu damu tabulati men keta na kisikisi roti.
But the fact that he said, I said, these people are going to be given alcohol, and that is not right, and he needs to apologize to the UN staff for that.
Kafuko nteka nko dolole dita UN la lukula la nimusolu womanke tonyati aduna nyanta UN la mulu bolo sayla walale.
Well, that statement, Mr.
I don't personally associate myself to anything alcohol.
Mr. Witness, that may be patronizing to the UN. I recall, as the leader of the Darfur investigations, I went to the Sudan, and top Sudanese officials, some of them are imams, gave us alcohol. Of course, in the delegation were people who drink alcohol, mean anything. So the fact that one has particular values does not necessarily show that these things do not happen.
Why the need for me to tell a subordinate officer of his rank what I intend to do or what I did? What's the relevance of it?
There's no
with him and the UN and the job that I'm doing.
These are rhetorical questions, Mr. Witness. Perhaps you would be the best person to answer them. But if I may, let me finish, Honorable Minister. Let me finish, Honorable Minister. You know the rules, and I do not want to be seen as disrespecting your position. Thank you very much. The fact of the matter is, this person has raised 3 significant issues, or 4 significant issues, which suggest that your encounter with him was more than just where is the document, it is with somebody else, okay, you can go. It was not as simple as that.
If there should be anything, it's just formal greeting between me and him, because he's somebody that I know, and I have not seen him for quite some time. I do not even know that he is interdicted.
Nala ko Melbourne tanate ma diamola Carola. Fonyo konto de katu mole mfama tanye menna. Adunta wutumo fogo nte malon ko ine ya mutamu.
I want the commission to play his record.
Lefta nun commission sano yala kumakangulu sen kam fintin.
And read his body language the sooner he said that.
Ya jube akalawo fongo ya leketa nyamin. Bring ayin kumakangulu fadala.
Mr. Witness, are you an expert in reading body language?
No, I'm not an expert in that, but I spent quite a number of my life as an investigator.
But
there are certain reactions that human beings react when they say something that is not true.
Man hada madungulu kalanya londo soto baba bake bari na senji jamale ke kisi rola. But agulimo kalimo
equally, Mr. Witness, when people do something and you ask them about it, sometimes there's a particular way they react.
Yes.
And sometimes they get agitated. You agree?
Personally, I get agitated when somebody lies.
Just answer the question. Sometimes they get agitated.
Yes, of course.
And you realize that you are more agitated now than before.
Because my biggest enemy is lies.
No, but one could interpret that to suggest that you have been hit at a soft spot. And that's why you're reacting in this way.
All those who know me, even from the family level, friends level, everywhere, you start telling me lies, I don't move with you.
But exactly, they would have to know you in order to read your body language correctly.
Yes.
So you see, that is why we don't have to go to body language.
No problem, no problem. But I am, because apart from the body language,
let me ask you this question to end this issue.
Okay, thank you.
You agree there was a massive government cover-up?
Yes, I realize that now. Massive one.
All the international community was a lie.
Yes, of course.
Were you part of that cover-up?
Never.
Well, the investigations in this continues. And if the commission receives further evidence in this matter as may concern you, you will be informed and be asked to react to that.
Thank you.
All right. But the commission notes that as at this time you were new back in the country.
And that
the investigations were still going on. Mr. Chair, I would perhaps leave the letter by, I would ask that the UN ECOWAS fact-finding mission letter to the IGP, to the Secretary of State for Interior be exhibited as Exhibit 207B. B.
Yes, in boy.
Tentatively B, because the A you'd have to decide.
I can grant you your request now on A.
Okay, thank you very much.
I went through it again and then it's okay.
Okay, good.
So 207B also granted.
Yes.
Request.
I just have here a letter sent by Lamin Kababajo to Ghana. But I'll leave that until Kababajo comes to testify about it.
What's the date on that letter?
2nd December 2005.
The 2nd December 2005. And in what capacity did Kababajo send that?
Minister
of what?
No, Foreign Affairs, Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs.
Okay.
That must have been a brief stint of his.
But you will hold that in abeyance until...
I will hold that in abeyance.
Okay.
That letter is just a rehash of the findings of the Malamin Sise panel. It's a complete cock and bull story that they were given.
Indeed.
Yeah. So, Mr. Witness, I would not bother you further with this story of the Ghanaians. But you have heard the story or the evidence presented here that that diary was fabricated.
Ko kiboko kwa men di data commission nyati no ja wala ni o daire nyim kuma kan me alon ko ifan kuma kan wali wolle le safe o daire nyindo manke daire tilin noti.
Yes, because the authors of the fabrication mention it here.
Ha ka to men fawli tapale ya safe je fawli ya fujanne,
Which made the reaction of the ECOWAS, UN ECOWAS fact-finding mission look sensible because they received fabricated documents.
Men nata na sababu UN ECOWAS la kibaro nyingi nata ile kibaro nyingi sabati ndikatu ye kibaro mensoro kibaro le me alon ko manke kibaro tilin noti andu tol fana ya safe wala nyam.
Good. So now let us talk about the other issue.
Sinanga kacha ko do kudo fana na kotenke.
In 2016, was it 2016? Yes, 2016.
2016 sangono.
The UDP people demonstrated.
UDP kanuntel la balambaya nyingi.
Some were arrested.
Dol mute kono.
Solo Sandeng died.
Jeto Solo Sandeng na fo aniola.
UDP executive members demonstrated again.
UDP la kunukumba na balambaya ulindi ako akamba kotenke.
They were arrested and detained.
Inata ne wol fana muta yesindi tragili.
Can you tell us about it?
Isukuma fono nyo woto le bang.
Yes, thank you very much. I think it was on the 14th of May. April 2016.
April 2016.
I was in my office at about 3:45. Then I received a call, not from the police officer, but from a civilian. That there is something at Westfield. It appears that there's a big, huge crowd there. I called the commissioner of Carnifing. They said he's aware and he has already dispatched 2 senior officers in the persons of Ablai Sane, and the other one is So, I cannot remember his first name. I also called the commissioner of Carnifing, PIU, and he said he has sent his men there. It was...
Mr. Witness, are you suggesting that the commander for PIU deployed the PIU without informing you?
Yes, yeah, because he said he have already sent officers there. The normal procedure is deployment of PIU, except if they are to be armed, they have to be, the IGP has to be informed. But if they are not armed with weapons, then the IGP needs not to be informed. The commandant has the discretion for the deployment. It's only when rifle or tear gas or whatever is to be used, that time he has to be informed.
IGP isikibaro diala ning ayatara PIU la mulita dame inin jorangul le bitaje men ko kilo wala ikatia gas fay jorangul menula inamanata inyanta IGP bondila kalamale.
Certainly before.
May I ask,
yes.
Did you receive a prior request for authorization to deploy?
Oh, you can do sort of banding or more be kila jeba.
No.
Honey,
Do you know the type of equipment that were used by the PIU during that employment? During that deployment?
I do not know what they used.
Did you inquire?
No, when after some time I called him back and he said the situation is under control.
The question
no
is,
resistance.
did you inquire
I did not.
the type of equipment that he used?
No, I did not. All that I find out from him is that about the situation. I said the situation is under control and there's no resistance.
I will come into all those issues. Okay. Did you agree the operational rules, the rules of engagement for his deployment?
Of course, it all depends on the circumstances, the situation that calls for. Because his deployment is definitely under his own command until there is a certain category of operations that the IGP has to be informed. In the normal distance, they deploy to stadium, IGP cannot. They deploy almost everywhere, and IGP is not aware of that.
But in this particular instance, we understood that they carried guns.
I don't know, but then all that when I found them, I found only battens. And they were not in a proper riot gears. Because the proximity of that venue to the PIU camp is too short. And probably when they heard about it, they only quickly mobilized the standby unit to rush to that place.
The thing is, you may be confusing because this involved two incidents. I am talking about the second incident.
I said on the 14th of April. So this, I'm referring to 14th of April.
Let's talk about the 16th. I am not focused on the 14th. The 14th was a surprise.
Yes.
The state reacted on the basis of the surprise.
Okay.
All right, but they were on alert until the 16th. And then this demonstration of the 16th is the one I am most concerned about.
Demonstration of the 16th, this one is on a weekend. I think it falls on a Saturday. I was at home. Either Friday or Saturday, because then Friday and Saturday are public holidays. I was at home around 7, between 7 and 8. My telephone rang. It was the Minister of Interior. I answered the phone. He said whether I am aware of any demonstration. I said no. He said there is a demonstration starting from Honorable Dabo's residence. I quickly enter into the bathroom, take my shower. He called again. And he said, where are you? I said, I'm coming. But that time I was definitely, because I don't want him to know that I'm still, I cannot just jump up and then go. So I got up and drove furiously towards Senegambia. I took Senegambia because I don't want to be confronted with the mob. And I also changed my vehicle to a smaller vehicle. I was in Mufti. I could hardly be recognized. Then I drove towards, I went up to the Caraba Junction. I turned right to Caraba. As I drove towards the Usain Dabo's residence, those are the four sides of the four sides that I saw 2 army officers dragging a lady from the compound.
Being dragged by who?
By 2 soldiers. Then I realized that soldiers are also around.
You see, Mr. Witness, take a look at your statement. Take a look at your statement. The statement says being dragged by 2 PIU officers.
Then the recorder made a mistake. These are soldiers.
You see, the irony is, why would the recorder mistake soldiers, army for PIU? Seeing that you controlled the PIU and not the army.
Sorry, it is the army officers. I saw this morning and I queried.
Okay, proceed, please.
These are 2 army officers dragging a lady from Usain Dabo's. I'm sure the lady who has been dragged probably she'll be here to give evidence. Then I moved towards the Caravan Mosque, where I found a checkpoint. The street was virtually empty, with pockets of movements. I sighted one of the officers running after a young boy. I called the attention of the commander, Jan, the pretendant, or by that time I don't know where his age was. I called his attention. I said, "Look, Jan, your people cannot do that. These are fleeing rebels. You don't have to run after them." Then I moved.
So in fact, you realized that people under your ultimate command were doing the wrong thing.
Yes, that's right. Then I proceeded to Cedar Club, where I found another checkpoint. I explained the same thing to them, that they should not go for people who are already on the run.
Is that the only advice you gave them?
Yes, that's the only advice, that they should not go for people who are on the run.
During this operation, what did they carry?
What I've seen with those officers is a gunner.
What?
A gunner used for tear gas.
Did you authorize the use of that equipment?
I don't.
Was that regular?
It was not.
And you realized it? And did you do what you were supposed to do? This was unauthorized. You needed to have been the person to authorize that operation. It means that your commander of the PIU acted outside the realms of his authority.
I want to believe that he uses discretion because he did not call me, but the minister called me. And I found the minister on the ground.
Was this a situation where he could lawfully use his discretion?
Yeah, where if he feels he should deploy. But they all know, all the unit commanders knows their rules of engagement.
Let's go back. Was this level of equipment, the use of this level of equipment within the purview of his authority?
For tear gas and battens, you need not to contact the
Mr. Witness, you are recalibrating what you said. No, Mr. Witness, earlier you told us that for use of tear gas and guns, they needed your authorization. For use of battens and other regular deployment, they did not need your authorization.
There are certain equipments, if they are to use of rifles at any time, does not have been even used. But when it comes to the wars and it has been used, it has to be authorized. And there are procedures.
And also the use of tear gas. Use of those gunners. He should have had your authorization.
For tear gas, yes.
But these are things we can easily verify.
Yeah,
we go to the rules.
I've seen on several occasions tear gas being used, and
but I know. The issue is, should he have looked first for your authorization?
Yes, you should have at least contacted me. Because my information comes from the minister.
Do you think that it is a dereliction of duty that the commander did not refer to you as the IGP? We have to correct these things. We have to call these things out for what they are.
At that particular time, I don't think there is any fault on him at that time.
Mr. Witness,
it has been the practice.
Mr. Witness, there is.
We are trying to reform, but that has been the practice.
But even that practice was unlawful. You have to call a spade a spade. You have to call them by what they are. This was unlawful.
If you want to take it that way, I would mind.
This is not me. I did not write your rules. Your rules were there for you to apply.
Yes.
So he acted unlawfully. Because we have to stop this culture of people doing whatever they want to please the president. We have to stop that culture. We have to do things according to law. Do you agree?
Yes, of course.
Did he act properly?
Under the law. He did not act properly in the circumstances.
All right, let's proceed then. Let's make headway. From there on, you went to the PRU headquarters in Kanifing, correct?
Yes.
And what did you see there?
The first thing when I entered, I found the director of NIA, and I found some other army officers in. I cannot remember. Quite a number of them are from the state guard. I went straight to YANKUBA because I had certain information that I want to verify from him. Because overnight, in the social media, there is information that one of the previous protesters was killed, died in the custody of the NIA. I went straight to him and I said, Toma, is it true that somebody died in your custody? And And he looked at me for a while.
Ayanjibe fameta.
He said, Tom, between you and you,
Konya Tom tani tema.
he died.
Fatale.
Then I said, how?
Kako akata no nyadile.
Then while saying how to him, then I looked to my left.
Kabimba foka nga nyadi doronga marajibe.
I saw Honorable Minister Sonko sitting
Honorable Minister Sonko je sitting
under the mango tree.
Duta yuro koto.
Then that's when I stopped my conversation with Yankuba. I proceeded to Honorable Sonko.
Honorable Sonko.
I greeted him and he said, but you've taken a long time. I said, I'm sorry, I took the other way around. Then I said, I understand. He said, he told me that the arrested people were there. Then I moved to the hall. When I arrived, the first person to talk to me was Honorable Usainu Dabo.
What did he say?
He said, IGP, you've seen what your people have done to us.
What was he referring to?
Injuries on them.
Caused by who? According to
my people. My people.
And you saw the injuries on
Yes,
them?
I've seen them.
So the excessive force was used on them, correct?
They were injured. About 3 or 4 or 5 of them.
Blood all over them?
Yeah, with 3, Usainu Dabo, Kemesen, and Diba.
And what was done thereafter?
I said to him, Mr. Dabo, allow me, I will make sure that I do something about your condition. I called the medic officer, the commissioner of medic, and he said he's around Brusubi, sort of. I said, but I want your people to be here in the next 20 minutes. He said, I have two of my officers around Ibo Town, Joshua. I will call them now to come. I think one of them probably is not far because he came less than 10 minutes. Then he came to me and I said, well, look at these people. They need urgent medical attention. Then he opened their medical clinic. But this is about 2 or 3 or 4 steps. And I advised him to bring the equipment out because probably some of them will have difficulty in coming up. I personally held the first person that I had the medical attention was Kemesen. I may be a little bit biased because he's a personal friend of my brother. I always call him brother.
You forgot the concept of triage.
Well, yeah, but I cannot pick all of them at the same time.
That is the reason why there is this principle of triage.
Yes, he has more blood coming on from his head.
So now he qualified.
And I held his hand and I walked with him to the facility. I was seated on a side beside him. Yeah,
so they were treated?
Until he's treated.
And then what happened after that?
Why I'm saying this thing, because I listened to Kemesen's testimony. And he said, I came there, but I did not do anything.
already assumed that they would be detained.
No, I don't want to see people because they have injuries. Quite a number of them.
Mr. Witness, would they have needed mattresses if they were not meant to sleep there?
But how can you also leave them? You cannot also leave them in those conditions.
Process them and release them.
Yeah, but I did that.
After detaining them?
No, because my thing is that it was early in the morning, and I can see some of them having some medical condition because I squat down for every one of them to find out where they have any medical history. And quite a number of them said they are on medication, whether diabetes or high blood. I spent $3,000 from my pocket and gave it to one of the medical officers to go to stop to buy medication for them. At least something that would take them, that would make them at least a little bit comfortable. I'm mentioning this because somebody said I came and I did nothing. Because I know I provided food. There are over 50 cartons of water that I provided, and every one of them is on his own mattress. And I personally spared those mattresses. So, and then also instructed the CID officers to immediately obtain their statements. With the instruction, because I called the CMC aside, I said, what I told him is that those that said they are only passing, they make alibi that they are just going on their way and they are arrested. Let me have their list. Those people who are also recognized to be UDP militants, but in their statement they did not confirm that they form part of the demonstration. Let me have that another category. Then the last category is those who confirm they are part of the demonstration. Then that's the last category.
So tell us, what were they being investigated for?
They did not obtain permit.
They need a permit to go out and picket.
As our law stands as of now, even myself, I am in for notification, but as our law stands as of now, until it is amended, you need permission.
But wouldn't they have needed a permit only in circumstances where they were to use a microphone?
That is public meetings, but processions.
For a procession, they need a permit.
They need a permit because they are going to obstruct other road users. So that there is a need for the police to divert other road users if permit is allowed.
Could you refer us to the relevant section of the law?
I may not have the relevant, but I think it's either Public Order Act Section 5 and 6. One of them is talking about that. I'm not sure which one.
We would check that.
Yes.
We would check that. So they were being investigated, correct? The participants or those who were apprehended were the people who were being investigated, correct?
Yes.
Was there any other investigations carried out?
No, whilst I advise the CMC to categorize them into groups, he reported to me after the statements that the first category are those that are probably made alibi that they are on their they are going somewhere else and they had this, they were intercepted by the police.
Fanna follow ni wol ko to mo lete mi yalon ko bitaka ni la hajo la natane mota yebula ni ko kon.
They were instantly released, 12 of them.
Natane yebula mota ni fula nyong.
I instructed they are released.
Ndala ko yebula.
I also instructed the bail of another 11 or 13.
Tafana nata yamaro di pour mota ni kilinfo mota ni saba pour ye bail dila.
Because these are people that we know to be part of the UDP. But did not commit themselves to be part of the procession. And we decided that we should let them go on bail. It remains 18 or 19 out of 47 or 48. Those ones we quickly prepared their files, and I instructed that they should be put before the court on the Public Order Act.
That was the end of the investigation.
Yes, because what we need from them is that whether you have the permit, what were you doing, where do you start your procession, did you investigate your men for excessive use of force? We did not. Did you investigate your men for unlawfully injuring Usainu Dabo and others? We did not. But they also made a statement. But under the law, if the law was applied properly, correctly, evenly, without bias, that should have been investigated. Well, the officers concerned, they all made their statements. Which officers? Arresting officers. They made statements for the purposes of the prosecution of those apprehended. But none of those officers was questioned for their unlawful use of force. None of those officers was investigated for unlawfully assaulting Usainu Dabo and others. In a democracy, in a country of rule of law, those officers needed to have been investigated, correct? That's the norm. What happens on every riot situation is that immediately after the riot situation, assessment of the situation is conducted. There you know where your faults are and who are responsible for excessive use of force. But this is a situation which the work of the police is taken by some other services. Like which other services? The military were involved in arresting. The NIA were involved in arresting. And as I said in my earlier... And the PIU were involved in arresting. Yeah, those are police officers. I don't... And the PIU were also involved. Look, the army did not carry patents, did they? But Well,
And a lot of the injuries were by battles.
Battens, yeah.
So clearly, those injuries were caused by your police officers.
They are caused by our police
In fact, that is the reason why Honorable Usainu Dabo pointed to you. He says, you see what your people have done to us. In fact, he was protesting to you that your people have violated the law. You agree?
Yes. At the time, my concern was the injury. I was not expecting.
No, Mr. Witness. Your concern was those you believe violated the law, those who openly challenged the government of Jammeh. That was the concern. That these are the people who had the audacity to challenge the government, and therefore they had to be processed and dealt with according to law. That was the preoccupation.
I will not take you away from your belief, but that's not my belief.
Look, I have no belief in this. I am neutral in this. All I do is ask questions, logical questions, necessary questions for the Commission to be able to arrive at conclusions. If I had my wish, no Gambian would sit on the chair. So I ask these questions because they need to be asked. Sometimes they are inconvenient, but...
Yeah, I know, we understand with you, but we are also in a situation that I want you to also understand. And sometimes you want to be doing the correct thing. And it's difficult for you to do this. We are equally frustrated. My treatment of providing them all those provisions was seen as an opposition. I don't know where the commission will believe in that. That I gave Usainu and his people the VIP treatment, according to them, everything at their disposal. But I don't mind about that.
I would say that is humane treatment. I would say that is something that is to be expected. I would say every Gambian would deserve that kind of treatment. Be it Honorable Usainu Dabo, be it Demba Mansajang who lives in Dingirai. All of them would have deserved that kind of humane treatment. So anybody who criticizes you for that, I am afraid is missing the point.
That has been
but Mr. Witness, we would not clap for you for doing the right thing.
No, I don't expect a clap. But
equally, if the wrong thing is done, we would raise it.
You are right.
These people should have been investigated and prosecuted.
Of course.
It was your responsibility.
Because that was my responsibility to investigate.
It was neglected.
Well, I will not say neglected.
It was not done. It was not done.
No,
it was not done.
It was not done, but let me just tell you.
And the law required that, let me finish, okay. The law required that it be done because they have committed violations.
At the time, I was only forcing myself to take control command of the PIU. In effect, there was a verbal instruction from the office of the president, from the president to General Baji, that PIU administratively should be under the Inspector General of Police, operationally under General Baji. I did not take that. I still continue to be in charge of until after that incident. And I have a written letter, and I have a copy of the letter here, that the PIU, maybe because of the whatever this thing I did to them VIP treatment, I want to believe. Soon after, in August or April, I received instruction that administratively the PIU should be, operationally should be under the General Baji.
This is quite interesting, and you think that that should not be the case. That should not be the case.
But notwithstanding, I still managed to be involved.
But you would agree with me that between April and August, the time you received the letter, Hussein Dabo and others were investigated and taken to court.
Then I did not receive the written instruction. I'm also very careful of the verbal instruction.
But also within that time, if the law was being applied evenly, without bias, then the PIU officers also could have and should have been investigated and prosecuted. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I do.
And you know that the failure to do that reinforces the status quo that used to happen, whereby government officers violated the law in pursuit of Yaya Jammeh's interest. Nothing happened to them. You agree with that?
Can you repeat that, Council?
That by your failure to do anything about it, the age-old modus operandi of impunity for those who acted in favor of Jammeh's interest when they committed crimes. It just added to a reinforcement of that unlawful situation, whereby you do something unlawful for or in the name of Jammeh, nothing happened.
I know he is very sensitive to on political matters. I have in several instances high-profile suspects without any consultation.
Without
any consultation. But matters of politics, sometimes we are very careful.
Was that the reason why you did not investigate and prosecute these people?
I will get to the bottom of it. But of course, I personally saw just dragging, and they arrest quite a number of people.
But here I am referring to a complaint you have received from the leader of a political party who was assaulted badly. He suffered injury. He has complained to you, the IGP. Yajela ila moliye min kenna. And you didn't do anything about it.
That was just the starting of my interaction with them.
In all honesty, Mr. Honorable Minister, do you see that as a dereliction of duty? Do you see that as the failure to discharge an important responsibility? In a functioning democracy.
Yeah, but you're talking about functioning democracy. That was not a functioning democracy.
But you could come in democracy.
Democracy.
I asked my question advisedly. Yeah. Do you consider that to be a dereliction of duty in a functioning democracy.
It
should not have happened.
Should not have happened.
And the thing is,
even if it's happened,
that would not be the end of demonstrations in this country. And we have said that never again should these violations happen in our country. All concerned should be educated to the fact that certain conduct is unlawful. I don't want to go further by addressing 3 years Jotna, for instance, how they were treated. But the law has established rules on how these things should be handled. And you agree that those things needed to have been handled properly and in accordance with law.
Yes, in a proper democracy.
And that is what we strive for. We want to have a proper democracy in this country. And therefore things like this should not happen. You agree?
I agree, and we are also making efforts towards that. At the personal level, from 2018, I have prepared guidelines on the use of force. I don't know whether it will be of interest to you. I wouldn't mind showing.
By all means, bring them. Mr. Chair, I would ask to put in the change of command structure for the PIU. I would ask to exhibit that document. It should be 207C if accepted. Thank you.
Request granted, Council.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You have given me a book.
It includes.
This is your blue book.
I prepared this in 2018.
2018
The police officer to use as a pocket book.
Yeah, police officer mute ya bre poso kono bugoti sada si tenten no ila do koto.
It involves some cost.
And the password do duntaje.
And because I want the sponsor to at least give it to them free. And I also continue to develop it.
And what is the status of the document at the moment?
It's not validated yet.
It's not validated yet. So this is just a draft. Well, at least someone has made an effort to ensure that the right things are done, or to contribute to the right things being done according to law.
A lot of human rights issues are there. Management of public order. On the side of the prisons, Mandela rules are there. Rules for women prisoners and juvenile prisoners are also there. But at least they will temporarily use that, and this is communicated to most of the officers.
Would you wish to produce this to the Commission? Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I would ask that it be exhibited as 207D. You agree? So we should have it?
Yes, you can.
Okay. So exhibit 207D. This could help in our recommendations for institutional reform.
I sent it to quite a number of lawyers, but quite a number of nobody don't respond. Mr. Dabo is one of them.
Mr. Dabo,
and then see
Call for circulate it and call for a validation meeting.
yeah.
You are now Minister of Interior. It should not be difficult to organize that. Right?
Yes,
But I hope that in the rules also you would indicate that those who violate the laws, including both sides of the aisle, the law enforcers,
Their responsibility.
and exactly, they should also be prosecuted for violating the law.
Because I highlighted the 5 principles.
All right, so let us move on to the last
Council,
point.
your request is granted.
Thank you very much.
Does the witness imply that, or did I hear you correctly, that all the victims of that day are going to be given free copies of that? Is it a manual?
Well, after being launched.
No, he just gave it to Mr. Dabo. By virtue of the fact that he is a senior
He
lawyer.
was the Minister of Foreign Affairs, because as a lawyer, I just want him to go through. I've given to quite a number of lawyers, but even the Human Rights Commission, I emailed a copy, but no response from. I want somebody to at least, if I'm going wrong somewhere, and there's somebody to end
Well, it's a good initiative.
Yeah, so
let's see.
Chief Mane,
Chief Mane
he was arrested by the police and he has disappeared since.
Police will lay a muta and bria muta inside him abe yemandine.
you want me to comment on that?
Yes.
I was not here when the arrest was made. I was in UK.
When was he arrested? If you have
because all the records are saying 2006. 2006.
So for a big item, the 2006 laketa.
I was in UK at the time. I come to know about Chief Mane issue
Chief Manela Kuonin long.
only when I became the IG.
As IG, did the police seriously and genuinely investigate this case?
When I received a query from Amnesty International, I searched for a report on Chief Mane. I couldn't see anything.
Why couldn't you see anything?
I don't know where to start because I don't know where handling the matter.
When did you become IGP?
2010.
After 4 years.
So after 4 or 5 years, the police had no file on him.
I could not see any file on him.
Isn't that also surprising?
Surprising. There is no file on him. When reports started coming heavily, I decided to invite CID officers to see where they can trace any file in respect of Chief Mane. We did it for quite some time. No, nothing. And then finally there was a query. I think the information that was sent to me was equally sent to the Office of the President and Ministry of Justice. And we were asked to comment to find out. It is only during this commission that I am asked to perform an impossible act. That I I'm tasked to do something that is obvious, more obvious to people assigning me than myself. I did what I could at the time. I instructed that all police stations, inquiries will be made at all stations, because amnesty indicated Fatoto. My officers went there, and a lot of entries. We also make queries to immigration.
Okay. With regards to Fatoto, did you ask for the Fatoto diary?
I don't ask for diaries, the investigators who ask for information. But according to them, there is no trace of Chief Mane in Fatoto. But I did not direct them to bring the file to me, like the former IG did.
Remember you told us earlier.
I prefer to go there, but I'm not also did not also go there.
But you would agree that the diary would be the most important, or one of the most important documents that would tell us something.
Yes.
Did you ensure that the diary was inspected?
I directed them to there, to the place, and the diary was inspected.
Did they find the diary?
They said there is no trace of Chief Mane.
Did they find the diary?
Well, that's not clear to me, but what I know is that the report that I received from them said
the issue of a trace of him in there, they might have been referring to a physical trace, but was there any entries in the diary? Did they see the diary? Did they inspect the diary?
I think they've seen the diary and they've inserted, because their report said there is no trace of Chief Mane being entered in the diary during the period in question. And I also,
did you, by any chance, make statements about the possible whereabouts of Chief Mane?
I made this thing because after making all, I first sent letters to immigration to see exit entries.
For Dumoni Fintola
I have
Kenya.
no trace of that. Then I advised the Interpol officers.
Nantana Yamaro di police wala miliyalonko wala ka police yata mandi bantala bankol.
Interpol query.
Wolfana se nyininkaro kala
And we received responses
Natana jabiro soto
from different countries.
banku jamali jabiro kala.
Canada is one of them,
Canada dabe wolto
which is negative.
wolko e manfellanje.
America
America fana
said he entered
wolko duntale
when he has transited to another place.
para continental tata dula.
When was the, do you have the letter for the Americas?
Yes.
Kata for letter obe bulle bang.
It was based on this. I sent that information to the Minister of Justice.
Minister Mimata
That our inquiries now is saying on so and so date this guy is seen in America.
Can you send us that letter?
It was to make the public statement. I was just, it was sometime in 2011.
2011 song kono wati kono je.
I decorated some senior officers at the headquarters, promotion.
Makama lafage kuntonko do laje na makama bato je.
And during that time,
and wo wato ni
journalists were invited.
Yekibar talal kumandele.
And as we completed the ceremony, we are going downstairs.
We are going downstairs
Just to do the tradition of washing the promoted officers?
And I cannot remember which of the journalists, but he asked me about Chief Mane. I was talking down with him. I said, well, as far as we know, America needs to be asked.
Pardon?
I said, as far as I know, the American needs to be asked about the whereabouts.
Do you have the document? Have you found it?
It's a lot of documents, but I can give you. But what is more important?
No, I want to see that document. It's a very important one.
I also want to read it to you. You wouldn't mind?
Yes, please.
There was a correspondent. Their first response I was able to get. This is dated from the 20 June 2011. Well, it said, in order to our message of 2011, and in order to clarify media reports, because when it was in the media that America is seen America, and that's why America made these things. But their previous letter, where they confirmed, is not available as of now. Further to the message of June 2011, and in order to clarify media reports, please be advised, U.S. records reflect that an individual with the same name as a subject and date of birth on the 18th February 1978, bearing passport number PC 017941, transited the U.S. at Baltimore, Maryland on the 4th June 2006, arriving on North American flight airline NAA flight number 124 and departing the same day on NAA flight number 123 US indicted. That's why I stopped. I say you indicted have no other record of the subject's entry to or presence in the United States.
But you would recall that even the vice president of this country did say that Chief Mane was also in the U.S.
But vice president, president no longer Chief Mane.
I'm not aware of that, but I am aware of the Minister of Justice.
But you know, Mr. Witness, that to have said this statement in 2012 was a blatant lie. 2011 or for whatever time it was, after 2007, this statement is a lie.
For me, it was not a lie.
But of course it is.
It is not for me.
But Mr. Witness, did you find out when Chief Mane was last seen in the Gambia? But Mr. Witness, tell me, you have no record of when he was last seen in the Gambia. How could you say that he was in the U.S.?
The U.S. responded that he transited there.
But
and you check, when was he missing?
Exactly, that is the question you ought to have asked yourself.
I have no information, because even if there was investigation.
Mr. Witness, let me read this thing out for you. I have this North Bank Evening Standard. It's a Gambia online paper, and it was written Tuesday, June the 5th, 2012. And it tries to regurgitate, recapture, or recast the interaction you had with that journalist. And this is what it says. CPU faults police stance on missing journalist. The Gambia's Inspector General of Police, Mr. YANKUBA Sonko, was quoted last week to have told a local newspaper that missing journalist Chief Ibrahim Abib Mane was seen in the United States of America. As far as we are concerned, that is quote, as far as we are concerned, the latest information we received from Interpol is that he was seen in America, and that is it.
That's the truth.
But that is not the truth, Mr. Sonko.
That's the truth at that time.
No, it was not the truth. The truth was that on the 4th of June 2006, he was in the US. But after the elections in the Gambia in 2006, he was in the Gambia. That is the truth.
Yes, I have no information on that.
Then the statement you made is reckless.
No, I said as far as I know.
But you know then the statement you made was reckless. You made a statement without knowing the full impact of what you were saying.
No, I made a statement on my honest belief that that is what is.
But that was reckless, Mr. Witness, because you did not check when he was last seen in the Gambia, and you left the impression that he was in the United States.
Of course, because
that was reckless.
That was the information that I received.
Yes, that is true. But what you ought to have done, you did not do. You did not check whether he was seen in the Gambia after that date provided by the U.S.
I should have known that from the information that should have been given to me.
But did you ask for it?
Remember?
Did you ask for it?
Yes, of course. I remember. I said I searched for the investigation file.
Okay.
But I could not see the investigation file.
But how could
I
you...
initiated my own investigation, and this is one of the response.
But how... The problem is, how could you not have known that he was seen in the Gambia after the date provided to you by the U.S.? How could you not have known if there was genuine investigations?
There was no, there was a response.
Answer the question. How could you not have known?
Let me give you another listing, because these are not coming from me. They are coming from my officers who were doing the investigation.
But Mr.
I rely on them.
Mr. Sonko, you are a very smart person. You are a lawyer. You know the rules. You know the game. The government and government officials were covering up for the disappearance of this person and were continuously speaking a lie about this person.
I'm not part of that cover-up.
Well, Mr. Witness, the statement that you made...
If I said something...
Just hear me out. Just hear me out.
Okay.
Just hear me out. The statement that you made is a rehash of what Vice President Jai Sedi said, that this guy was in the U.S. The same statement you made without checking whether that statement is in fact true.
I honestly believe that since he's seen there and there is no trace of him here before or after.
But you did not check that.
Well, that's the information, because...
But did you ask for when he was last seen in Gambia?
No.
Exactly. So if you do not ask for when he was last seen in Gambia, how could you positively assert that he was in the United States?
Well, there is a report on that. That is not from me. But all that I continue to do is to tell them to give me more information about Chief Mani, and they make queries in the Interpol, and that was the response.
But the thing is, you were in no position to make this statement because it's false.
To me, at that time, I reasonably believe it to be true.
But you could not have
no cause to doubt.
Hear the question first. You could not have reasonably believed that he was in the U.S. You could not have. There was no basis for such a reasonable belief. It was, in fact, a fanciful belief.
Are you telling me that Chief Mani was in U.S. and he comes back or whatever?
Well, all the evidence points to the fact that he was in Gambia in the elections, after the elections of 2006.
Has he also traveled to U.S.?
No, well, the report you cited, but the report you cited is that he was in the U.S. on the 4th of June.
This would be of help to you to confirm that he was in U.S. at that particular time.
But this is of no help. He was in Gambia post this date.
Yeah, but if the state is saying, because the evidence that we received from the United States, that Chief Mani was in the United States at that particular time, wouldn't that help you to flee, because what I'm seeing
No,
now,
it would not.
what I'm seeing now is it appears that he has been there and came and events happened after this thing.
Exactly, precisely the
But
point.
I only know that now.
No, Mr. Witness, I am telling you, I'm not suggesting that you deliberately lied.
No.
I'm not suggesting that.
No.
But I am saying that your statement was reckless.
I would never have even comment on this if I did not receive any this thing that he has entered. I said, as far as we know as of now.
Yes, but this is what I'm telling you, that statement was reckless, and that statement was false.
It may be regular, but it's not false.
Yes, it is false. It is false because it's not true.
It is not false. It's not false. It's a statement. You want to say that Interpol transmission is false statement?
No, your statement.
Then the information.
Your
content,
statement.
then the content of that information
Just
not be false.
Just hear me out.
Okay.
Your statement suggesting that Chief Mane was in the U.S. is false, because he was seen in Gambia after this date.
What I said is that as far as we're concerned, Chief Mane is seen in the US, and that's what the content reads.
Yes, but that is not the case. That is a false statement.
He has never been to the US.
He had been, but he returned to Gambia.
Yeah, but I don't know of his return. The evidence that I have,
But this is what I am telling you.
We are concerned as of now.
Mr. Witness, that's why I said that I do not doubt your bona fides. I have no reason to doubt that. All right? But I would say your statement was utterly reckless. You made it without checking all the relevant information.
I would agree, but I would not agree that it is false.
Well, it is false.
No.
You have no choice but to agree that it's false, because you cannot say it's true.
What I've said is by the content of the information that I received. And this is from the original source, and it's a reliable source.
Mr. Witness, you suggested that this man was in the U.S., correct?
Based on the information that I received.
Perfect. But there is other existing information within the possession of the police which clearly establish that that is not true.
That is not to my knowledge.
That's why I say your statement was reckless.
Yes, I would.
And the fact that
I would agree.
And the fact
Totally, I agree that at that time, because I don't know all the facts.
Okay.
And I jump into it.
Exactly.
Maybe reckless.
Exactly.
But to say it is false, no.
No, it is false. The falsity of the statement does not depend on your intention. It depends on the veracity of the information.
But the information is correct.
It is not.
What is
You are suggesting here that he was in the U.S.
Read the paragraph, read the listing of the journalist.
We are talking about the intention, the meaning you intended to convey. As far as we are concerned, the latest information we received from Interpol is that he was seen in America.
Yeah, this is it.
And that is it. But the thing is, Mr. Witness,
That is not false.
yes, it is
You
false.
have seen the correct.
It is false. You are suggesting not only that he was seen in the U.S., all right, but he was not in Gambia, but in the U.S.
No.
That is the intention of
But I
the
said
information you conveyed.
The latest information at that time. I don't come by myself to say we have concluded everything.
By 2012, the Gambia government knew that Chief Mane was in Gambia during elections of 2006.
I'm not denying that, but I do not.
Okay, so okay, just hear me out. If you
here.
accept that fact, how could this statement that Chief Mane was in the U.S., how could that statement be true?
I will always telling that statement if I know the details about him being here at that time.
Okay, but the thing is,
This is somebody who
but
just come in.
this is the point, Mr. Witness. The veracity of the statement does not depend on what you feel or the extent of your knowledge. The veracity depends on whether it is true or whether it is false. It depends on facts that exist. And the facts that exist show that he was in the Gambia at a much later date than the period he was in the US?
I have no idea about that.
Okay. Then the statement that you made is false.
No, I said as far as I
You
know.
you may not have known.
That is why I said probably I may be reckless in that statement.
Yes, we established you are reckless.
That is false, but
okay.
I will not agree to that.
Okay, let me ask you, did you know that your statement was true?
To me, it was true.
You believed it was true?
I believe, I have no doubt.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
You accept that as at elections of 2006, all right, Chief Mane was in the Gambia. You accept that?
You are just telling me now.
Okay. If that statement is true, it therefore means that...
It therefore means that he was there and came back.
Precisely the point. So he could not have been in the United States in 2012.
But that is the fact that is not known to me.
But it does not matter whether you know it or not.
No, I can only...
The falsity of it does not depend on whether you know it to be false.
No.
The falsity depends on the facts.
No,
If the facts run contrary to it, then it is false.
Yeah, then that means you have to establish that the facts went contrary to it.
Exactly.
But I did not establish that.
But
That's why I
Mr.
said
Witness,
I may be reckless in saying that.
obviously you are reckless.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
But
I will agree to that.
yes, but the fact that you did not know whether the statement was true or false, it's neither here nor
I'm
there.
not doubting the statement at that time. I've never doubted that statement. I thought that is the reality.
Okay, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Do you think that for the statement to be true, it depended on whether you believe in it or not?
No, it does not only depend on your belief.
Exactly. Exactly.
the
Your statement, you might have believed it to be true, but it has turned out to be false.
I have no doubt to doubt the American information that this man has transited in that area. And that's made me to believe. Because if he had not gone to America at that time, they would not have written, because Canada responded negative, all other countries negative.
But you are missing the point. We have accepted that you are reckless in your statement.
Yes, if you say that, I will agree.
Okay, but why do you accept that you are reckless? Because there is some other information out there which you did not consider.
Yes.
Okay, but that information out there shows that the statement you made was false.
But it was not forthcoming at that time.
Whether you know it or not.
That's why I said, as far as I know now.
Yes, okay. As far as you know now, the statement you made was false.
No. Yes, as far as I know, yes, that statement is false.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah. As far as I know
Yes,
now.
Mr. Chair, let me ask to exhibit this statement. It is North Bank Evening Standard, TNBES. It's an article dated Tuesday, June 5th, 2012. That should be exhibit 207E. Sorry. That should be exhibit 207F. Yes, that should be the document from the U.S. government.
Okay.
That should be exhibit 207E. I did that, Mr. Chair, so that the chronology would flow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I have no further questions for the witness. Thank you very much, Mr. Witness, for answering my questions. And on this last point, the important issue for us here is the consistency of government officers in peddling information that, if verified, they would have known to be false. And that is this issue about Chief Mane being in the U.S.
Yeah.
If verified, they would have known that it is false. And that goes for the Vice President in suggesting Chief Mane was in the U.S. It also goes for Mr. Sonko in suggesting that, regardless of the bona fides of the persons concerned. Thank you.
If the people who knows the facts are the people assigning you find the facts, and they are still sitting on the files.
That is classic telltale signs of cover-up.
What I've discovered now is I am assigned to work on a task that is known to them, that there's no way that I can.
It stunk badly.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, my counsel, and thank you, Honorable Minister, for coming to testify. I'm sorry that we kept you here all day. Our counsel had indicated earlier that we would take into account your state responsibilities and see if we could expedite the testimony. Things didn't turn out that way, but very helpful indeed. And thank you so much for coming to testify.
Chair, perhaps I should also put in this piece of information. This is an extract from Freedom Now. It's the case file of Chief Mane. Perhaps I should just make the witness see this before I exhibit it.
So it's an excerpt from where?
Freedom Now.
Oh,
These
Freedom
are campaign
sure.
platforms for missing persons.
Okay.
Take a look at it. Could you read the first few paragraphs?
Okay. Expected release unknown. Okay.
This is a case file for who?
Chief Ibrahim Mane was a senior reporter for Banjul Banjul-based Daily Observer. He was arrested by the National Intelligence Agency on the 7th July 2006.
Could you stop there?
Could you
stop there?
Okay.
Could you stop there, please? What date did the Americans tell you he transited the U.S.?
I think the information is still now with you. I don't know.
That's June.
Whether I can.
That was June.
This is July.
Exactly.
Yes, that's
exactly. So
he was there
in July, he was in the hands of the NIA.
I agree. He will have come back.
Exactly. So what I am trying to suggest to you.
But why is it that the NIA were not asked to investigate this matter?
You asked me that question?
So this is the issue. If you are asking people, that means this is all the cover-up.
Of course
because
it is a cover-up.
You are asking an innocent person or somebody who has no knowledge and to investigate a matter.
But Mr. Witness, if you had just Googled Chief Ibrahim Mane, this information would have popped up. So if you receive this document from the U.S. telling you that he was seen in the U.S. on the 4th of June 2006, you would have known that he had returned to Gambia. You would not have made that reckless and false statement you made.
I did not say this. And,
but this is in the public domain.
Yeah,
if you had investigated, you would have seen it.
I will not use the social media that much on my investigation, because what I believe in that, if we want to make Interpol is there.
You call the internet social media?
No, what I'm saying is that I don't want to be using information from other sources.
But you know, open source information is good information in any investigation.
Well, it gives you a tip.
Yes.
Yes.
And that is what this would have done for you. It would have given you the answer that the government was hiding from you.
Yes, we also have to remember that I did not personally investigate this. I assigned investigation.
But Mr. Witness, you had the responsibility over the case and you made pronouncement on the case.
I made pronouncement over the case.
Exactly. So
But I don't have responsibility over the case.
I would not bother you any further. I think I have all the answers that I want on this. Thank you very much. May I ask that this document be exhibited? So the chair, please, and then we take it from there. If the chair agrees, it should be exhibit 207G. G. G.
He as in the Gambia. Thank you. While we are looking at that, Council, do you recall on the 3rd of October 2019 when the former Vice President Daisatunjai said he testified, did she say anything about them chief money? You recall?
I cannot recall that.
Okay.
I cannot recall asking her about Chief Mane. But we have her on the record saying that Chief Mane had gone to the US or that he had gone back way.
Well, I just wanted to know if she said something different from that when she appeared.
No.
Because I think that statement was before she came here.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
That's right. Thank you.
But again, thank you very
She
much.
said that as late as or as early as 2007.
Well, yeah, okay. Yeah, fine. Thank you, Commissioner Kinde. You wanted the floor? We turn to the commissioners now, if you have any questions.
Commissioner Kindala Kaninka.
Good evening, Honorable.
May come Honorable.
Well, when you look at, I will start with the Chief Mane case. Your assertion that you are a seasoned investigator could be questioned. Because the time elapsed in this case, for example, between 2006 and 2012, was such a span, like 4 June 2006 to whatever date in 2012. A lot of developments could have taken place regarding Chief Mane or any other person for that matter. 6 years was quite a span. If you were assigned to investigate on Chief Mane's case, I think you should have established some hypotheses. Where could be the possible places of finding out about Chief Mane? From the family, from his professional work area, associates, and allegations or suspicions about his affairs regarding the government. The predomination should not be trying to relegate whatever the government, trying to say, for example, talk in the way that you're trying to save the government. If you want to know about me, you cannot go to only one source, like police. Find out from my family. When I was last found here, what about my workplace? For the journalists, in fact, there is a union. Did you make any attempt to at least inquire in those from those sources to find out, at least to give it a different, another perspective?
Kupruka nyindirike wo fanal la comme bare kibar bundal ye ka foso de la mialan ka be lorin ka nyinin karo ko wo fanal la pour ka long.
What I want to confirm here is that I have never investigated. I assigned that investigation to
Kisikisiroke. Ngaminka de la ngam la bula kisikisirola.
But you have the IGP normally does not investigate.
I know, but
these are people that I rely on. And at my level, I try to locate the files see further, because since it's 2006, I couldn't find that file. But I just asked the officers to proceed for their fact finding. Why is that fact finding was on? That was the time that we received this information from America. That's not from 2020. The second letter is 2012, but the first letter was 2011.
The letter for Wakata 2020, but Flanyo Wakata 2021.
Honorable, with all due respect, 5 years and 6 years respectively.
Yeah, Honorable, Sanji Lulu, Katafo Sanji Woro.
Still indicate a significant span of time elapsed. And as the IGP, when you assign your team, you also indeed have oversight responsibility to ensure that competency is exercised, adequacy is exercised. If there are need to look at 3, 4, 5 areas, you only focus on one. Is that indicating how naive your system is?
Correct answer.
Again, when this letter came to you in 2011 and 12.
2011 and 12.
They were referring to 4, 5, 6 years ago. So they should not have been your benchmark. Sole benchmark that you can lean on. Especially when it comes to putting up a statement that you are going to give impression to a whole nation. I suggest a good investigator would have looked at a number of areas exhaustively before he or she goes out to give a statement, a national statement.
I think they have done a lot of investigation. What probably must have made them to stop? Probably they were equally convinced that the subject is in the United States. That's what our belief was.
Even if they have not yet contacted the family.
I'm not sure where the families are contacted. I wrote to the immigration to get his passport details and everything, and that was sent and was given to investigators.
One, and not even his workplace. Did the passport indicate travel after the time or within the time scope we are talking about?
Is the passport details?
Yes. Did it say he traveled after July 2000?
The passport information from immigration does not indicate stamps or anything. It indicates your number, the issuing authority, the date it was issued, date of expiry. So that was the one that we used for verification.
My second point is about the migrants. I'm not sure whether I'm getting it correctly that you got the diary from the then minister, or was it from Bara?
I did not get the diary. I get the extract of the diary from Kujabi, then the officer commanding Interpol. It's an extract of the diary. That was what was made available to me, and that's what was submitted.
And that, okay, that's the one from Bara, the one they have falsified.
Well, I want to believe because I want to believe that's the one. That the one that was falsified in 2005.
Yeah,
I recall that you said at least you heard about Ghanaians or whatever, even before you came back to Gambia.
Of course. The 8 who died is in the newspapers.
And you said you needed that of Bara because Martin said they were first arrested in Bara. Yes. When you looked at the extract and did not see anything about Bara, what effort did you make to contact Bara police or people, in fact, particularly in your case, you hail from Bunyadu?
I am not investigating. I am only facilitating. And what was given to me is what I submitted. If I am tasked to investigate, probably I will say a lot of things that are now disclosed. But I was not an investigator. I was only to facilitate. And my facilitation is, we need this, these people need this, give it to me, I handle it. So if we have to facilitate, the person, for example, the assistant here, facilitating movement of documents from me to the lead council, from the lead council to the commissioner. That was really my action.
Did you contact or confront Mimo as to the discrepancy in the various versions?
I don't know whether you get me.
I've got you.
This is the information. That is one. You give it to me, I hand over.
You did not even browse through it?
I look at the open disk. I don't know where, but I was looking at some of them. But it's not my disk.
Your interest would have been on the time frame, 22nd July, 23rd July.
That is my focus.
Fine.
I want it to be on the 23rd, that particular date to that particular date.
When you looked in there and did not see it, didn't you call Mimo's attention that this 22nd to 24th, I have not seen anything about the migrants?
No.
And there is an allegation. You compare and contrast the two stories.
I will not do that.
Thank you. Do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Carr, you have the floor.
Commissioner Carr,
Thank you, Chairman.
Baraka Chairman.
And thank you, Mr. Sonko, for your testimony.
Mr. Sonko,
I just have a question that you may include in your closing remarks. You may have already thought about it anyway. And that is regarding reforms in the security sector. And what role are you playing in ensuring that some of the things that we have had here, which you have condemned, are changed for the good? Just want to know what is happening with security sector reform to ensure never again. Thank you.
The policy is ready. And every department has now take cue from the main policy.
And say more doku dinkra kutongal beka support was
already invited stakeholders.
Andunga doku bundal kumandile.
They were in my office 2 weeks ago.
Wiki fulakoma.
This includes lawyers within the police and immigration.
Loyal miyabe police and immigration.
And they also invite the community
and
NGOs to at least to review and see what's going to be good for different directorates or institutions. I know one thing that is going to be permanent is the training. Even in the former regime, probably, I think I interviewed you personally. When at one time you applied for cadet assistance. And you are qualified and then you would not turn up. But I came in when there's only 5 university graduates within the police, including myself. In the 7 years, I recruited 165 graduates. This is all geared to. Unfortunately, they could not be effectively reformed because of the system. Quite a number of them are with their master's degrees. And almost every police officer is trying to get something.
Police officer, Quite
a number of them have paid for their own tuition fees. It's a competition between police officers now to acquire higher education. What is needed now is to help them, and that will pay a dividend tomorrow. Thank you.
Many of those graduates that you recruited came in the last 3 years of Yaya Jammeh's regime.
4 years more me alanko yeta do kola andi yelondo soto fo akata Yaya Jammeh si labangol ati sanji sabo kono ala sanji sabo labangol.
And did you see any qualitative difference? 3 years the graduates are in and of Yaya Jammeh. And the period before they came in, I'm looking at them qualitative difference.
Chairman, I think some of your investors are those that I recruited. Abdumane is one of them, Senghor is one of them.
Abdumane Dabo Waldo, Senghor Dabo Waldo.
And quite a number of others. But it was during Yaya Jammeh's time. But we helped quite a number of them out of, not from government fund, but from out of our peacekeeping fund. If we should apply for that, we will not get enough sponsors. So we are using our own welfare fund to uplift them. And this is still on.
Thank you very much. If there are no further questions, Commissioners, we would, if you have any concluding remarks to make, please go ahead and do that, Minister Sonko.
Commissioner Natre Manyin Mr. Sonko is
if you allow me, I want to make my closing remarks in the local language.
Please go ahead.
Follow the chairman of Kontona.
First of all, I am greeting the chairman
and in Commissioner Bebejang.
all the commissioners present here,
lead counsel another molbe,
the lead counsel and his team,
dela jeroto,
how I see things, this kind of thing is something that has no equality.
And
also, the job that you are doing, people know it. It is a good job,
and
it entails the truth. Anyone who is not on the truth side is the person that is going to be scared to come here. But I have one complaint to make. There are some people who will come here to give their testimony. I want you to look at their testimonies very well. Some of them, they do it for a purpose.
And
a human being that you don't know,
interact,
and that person you have never interacted with him, and you take things, you put it on him or her. Anyone who is coming here to testify, you should know that God exists. We are here saying things. Anything that I have stated here, one day God will judge. And anyone who has stated, make any statement you for it. If you people come here, you should speak the truth. There are many people who said the truth and they have appeared before this commission. But there are some people who appear before the commission. They are not willing to speak the truth. I have heard a lot of statements that is concerned about me. I have heard some. It makes me very scared. Because I knew very well that I'm not that type of person. That is not me. But the way you want to clear yourself, all of us, we all have families. And then we said we should come and go. We said we should reconcile. I know so many people come here, but also myself, personally myself, if I have offended anybody, I am willing to apologize to that person. But anyone also who offended me, you should come here and ask for my forgiveness. If you cannot come here, you should call me by phone and tell me so that I can forgive you for the sake of Judgment Day. The job that you are doing, I'm very happy. And I'm also thinking that all the Gambian people are happy of your good job. There are many security officers that appeared here. They were very afraid. That is the cost. They were very afraid until it has passed the mark. But it is not only included only the security officers alone. There are many institutions. Lawyers were detained. And there were no lawyers that were ready to protest. They asked me personally that they are going to protest. I gave them the permission and they never did. Then they are scared. We all should accept that we are all scared by them. We were all scared by them. There are many things that has happened in the hands of some people. They just want for the President then President Yajame to know, and that makes them fail. They should have seen that it is Allah who is seeing them the job they are doing. That is the suffering that is within us today. But this country, the Gambia, we are the same father and mother. We should hold each other as the same father and mother. We should put aside the politics and be reconciled to become one people. Let's put the politics one side. If we don't put the politics aside, we just used to do it like we are from the same father. We will have problems. Then the appeals that I want to make, all those people who are listening to me, we all should come together. We take each other as the same father and the same. Every now and then one person must be commissioners here, chairman of you see, there are a lot of commissioners here, but they have their chairman. Councillors, lead councillors. We have a lot of councillors here, but there is lead council. Then we should hold it in that manner. The things that have passed, the events that have passed.
Anybody who wins or who leads,
or those who those who lead, yes. We should respect the person so that we can also come to that. What I think, a president is never wicked. Those surrounding the presidents are the wicked ones. Any human being, you tell him things that will make him scared. If it continues like that, he will become paranoid. And if the person becomes paranoid, his thinking will not be long. And if a fly passes by him, he will say it is a witch. And he will not forgive anybody. Then those who are closer or surrounding the elders, let us be very careful what words we give to those elders. We should not make our elders to become paranoid. Tell the person the truth. That's where it will end. I myself,
former President
my relationship with the former president,
7 years as IG.
I was working for 7 years. He never called me. And I have never called him. If I tell anybody this, you won't believe. There was no day that the telephone has passed between us. Call. Because if I keep calling him every now and then, I will say something to him that will.
Security Council Chairman, the Vice President.
Oh, I know he gave that role to the Vice President. That is the person I spoke with. There is minister that I spoke with.
Secretary General.
There is also a Secretary General that I spoke with. But there are a lot of things that have passed. People don't know. Some people are there who wants to write. That is Halifa Saleh. But I refuse. I destroy his book. Because there are certain words that when I utter them here, the book will not be said. But it's very important that I say it. Well, that is what has happened during the impasse. Anyone who thinks that the security services, they were helping the then president, you are making a big mistake. For us, we have withdrawn long time ago. Because by then, the coalition members, their PRO was the one we always speak with. There is one particular person who appeared here. He said that I am the one who gave instruction for them to be taken to mile 2. But if the person knew what I did to preserve his life, he won't utter such statement.
Demonstrations la bail application dunta.
The day that the demonstrators, their bail application has been heard,
Chief Justice I enter a call.
The Chief Justice called me.
The coalition winning Kele,
informing me that the coalition has won,
but the UDP protesters are coming before me today.
But UDP la balambaya moli binam mabel.
What is your advice?
Say ben yamar la muna.
Nkai ni manyu bula.
I told him, if you don't release these people, you'll mix this country. By then I was on my way to work.
Around 9 o'clock.
Upon my arrival at work, around 9 o'clock,
finally, IG.
He finally said to me,
what is your advice?
I instructed him to leave them. The bail application has been heard.
They were to be released.
Information.
Reliable information.
I don't want to mention some names, but I have got a reliable information
from the State House.
The
mile 2.
soldiers are preparing heading to mile 2. I called Halifa Saleh. I called him, where are you? He said, I am at home.
Mile 2.
I said, whatever you are doing, go to mile 2.
UDP coalition members
those UDP people and the coalition members that are at the gate, tell them to leave the gate.
To
my thinking, what I have said to him,
coming
to do a scenario.
People are trying to forcefully remove Usenu and others from the thing. And
anything can happen.
Halifa throughout on telephone.
Halifa went there and I was and I heard him saying to them, appealing to them to leave that place. I was in my office.
Then Commissioner Banjul
then the Commissioner of Banjul came, informing me that they have brought some people here. They were brought by the soldiers. I went downstairs and I met them. It was the Banjul MP, Silla. I asked him what happened. He said the time when you were speaking with Halifa, I was sitting with him. I came with him to talk to the people. The vehicle that I have parked on the Baobab tree, they said, let me be arrested. I told the Banyu station police officers to leave him. I knew very well Commissioner Landing Bojang is listening.
And Commissioner
and there are many commissioners that are currently listening. I gave the instruction. No one should take an instruction from any other person unless the instruction is from me. And that was the way we were. The instructions were coming. UDP flyers were all over. Emeba is listening to me. He gave me an instruction for those flyers to be put down. I told him that that is not the role of the police.
Works.
Go to works.
Well, they're responsible for signboards.
They are the one responsible for the signboards.
President Barrow inauguration.
When President Barrow was about to be inaugurated,
there
were many people that came out.
Namol Landimbo Jamka instructions to ko stop.
My people, Landimbojan, said that he received an instruction that they should stop the people.
From who?
I asked him from who.
Ako DIG la call, but ako General Baji DIG call.
He said DIG called him, then General Baji called the DIG.
Ako nyabariale konkana instruction tamandi damang imasu.
But he said to me, you said I should not work on any instruction that you don't give to me. I said yes, don't go by any instructions. My job is to prevent the lives of human beings, to protect the lives of human beings. That's what I'm doing for BTLO. Up to date. People are making their statement. There are some people here who came, they were trying to extricate themselves by putting their 2005 calamity, 2006 calamity. But those people who have spoken, they were aware of the 2005 and 2006 events. And there is no one among them who will say that they were discussing that issue with another person.
Commissioner of Security personnel,
the commissioner knows his security personnel. Anyone who enters, it never goes out.
Need to know basis.
It's something that is based on need to know basis. That's why we who came last, we will not know anything. And when you come, they will just take you along because they will know that you don't know anything. But all of us should try. Those who never appear here yet, they should come here. And when they come here, they should speak the truth. Those people who are here, they should know the truth, so that we can unite together to be one people. I'm greeting everybody. And we should all think like these things should never happen here again. This is the statement that I want to give. Wassalam.
Thank you very much indeed, Honorable Minister, for those very wise words.
Honorable Minister, and again,
we thank you very much for your testimony.
And
I hope the entire country has heard you when you say for almost 22 years and we all lived in fear here. And I hope that our mantra never again would apply to all of us. That we will not live in fear any longer, never again will we live in fear. Never again would we have somebody violate our human rights and the abuses perpetrated on innocent Gambians. And we accept it quietly and then say,
and we see and we said that it is caused destined by God.
Thank you very much indeed, Honorable Minister, for your testimony.
Honorable Minister,
we will resume tomorrow morning our proceedings at 10 o'clock. Meetings adjourned. Thank you all very much.
They say we slept in one world,